Live streaming is on.
All right, ready. Worker involvement criteria. There we go.
It's also a little daunting, the idea that the overall value jurisdictionally for the work is at almost $20,000 a month. So that would mean our token budget is going to be somewhere in the range of $240,000 a year. So when we start fundraising, we have to consider the fact that our goal is eventually to be bringing in that type of money, like in the range of $300,000 to $500,000 a year would be with the current size team, where you could easily see how we could get to multi-million-dollar budgets very, very quickly.
Yeah. We'll get there for sure.
All right. So.
All right. So worker involvement basic. Yeah. The link is there. The tab is criteria May 5th. Are you there?
Time to pause. Please stop. Yeah. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So we added the policy for onboarding completed stage 5, and then the training, active yes or no, and number of training responsibility. So we see there is a lot of everybody is gonna get the warning, 2 weeks warning.
So where's the cutoff on the priorities list again? What is it?
Policies list.
I see the policy list, but so earlier stage says training, onboarding. So what's the difference between training and onboarding?
The onboarding is a different verification. Yeah.
Why? What is it?
Regarding the training, for the onboarding verification, we just want to know if the person is active or not, right? For the training. While for the training verification, we also want to know on which number of training responsibility they are. That's the main difference. And the onboarding, there are also other considerations, like, for example, the methodology proposal. A lot of workers still need to agree on the methodology proposal.
I mean, I don't think that is really applicable to the worker involvement criteria. I mean, I feel like there's 2 different types of onboarding that we're talking about. So when we do, I would call it the initial onboarding, right? Which is basically like a one-time session to go through the primary checklist for getting started as a worker, right?
Yeah.
So for me, that's like the initial onboarding, which is basically like a session. And then you have the the onboarding for the team, like the team onboarding or the worker onboarding, or I don't know what you want to call it, but you can call it.
Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
But when I talk about onboarding, especially stage 5, right?
It's
So
a
this
team
is
onboarding.
the stage 5 onboarding is an ongoing process that leads to stage 6, right? So this is part of worker training.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how we thought, right? I mean, we're doing the team onboarding, and the last verification for the team onboarding is, I mean, the item are you active on your training? Right? So that's what we are verifying here. Are you active on your
But
training?
stage 5 is the training.
I mean, stage 5 is it's also, I mean, the tax form, the main doc.
Yeah, it's their onboarding.
Yeah, but the actual uh, uh, training process is stage 6, right? So that's what we want to know in the training verification. All right, where are you?
No,
On
absolutely
stage
not.
6?
If you're not done with stage 5, you cannot go on to stage 6, period. That's why it's stage 6.
Yeah, that's why everybody who is read in onboarding is also read in the training, because you need to be active with the training, so with the onboarding, and then we want to know the training is just because here we want to know where are you on your training.
Which would be stage 5, number 1 or number 0, whatever it is. You haven't started.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit confused. I mean, because the basic training or the general training is stage 6, right? The training responsibilities.
Yes, and we call onboarding stage 5. Like, I don't care if it's onboarding or training or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's all the same freaking thing. It's stage 5 and then stage 6. Like if we want to take away the name onboarding and have it called pre-basic training for stage 5, I don't care what you want to call it. It's stage 5. You do stage 5 first, then you go on to stage 6. Otherwise, it wouldn't be stage 5.
All right.
Like if you want to change the name from onboarding to pre-training,
Close
that's
your
fine.
eyes.
I don't care what we want to call it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
All right, I'm gonna change this to active training stage 5. And then, I mean, I would leave the training there because we can take away the active part, if yes or no. We just want to know, verify which number the worker is on the training.
Yeah, but I feel like we don't need both of these. Like for me, it's the same thing, right? The training and the onboarding is the same thing. It's onboarding and training, right?
Okay.
Like onboarding is part of training, and then training is like to get trained, you need to do onboarding. Like it's the same thing.
All right. So how would you do it, Jay?
I would just delete line 5.
Okay.
Right, and then line 4, it's just the training and onboarding. It's like stage 5 and stage 6. Like I don't care what you want to call them. We can change the name of it.
Because I mean, I'm basing this on the verification spreadsheets, right? We have one verification spreadsheet that's called onboarding verification. Then we have also the general worker training verification.
Uh-huh. And what's wrong with that? So if you're on stage 5, you do the stage 5 onboarding verification spreadsheet before you can move on to stage 6. Then when you're on stage 6, you do the stage 6 basic training verification spreadsheet.
Oh, yes, exactly. I mean, but I mean, for me, it's important that what we do here, we don't do the verification. I mean, we go into it's another responsibility, right? So we go into the general worker verification training spreadsheet, and we want to make sure that the workers are not skipping ahead before being verified for the training or before. That's the idea, right? Because I mean,
Yeah, but some workers are going to be on stage 5. Some workers are going to be on stage 6. Some workers are going to be on stage 7. Eventually, we'll also have workers on stage 8. Like everybody continues to do training. The training never ends. So it doesn't matter where the worker is, whether they're on stage 5 or stage 6 or stage 7 or stage 8. The worker involvement criteria is just making sure that the worker is engaged and active with their training.
yes, absolutely, and that is the onboarding, right? Are you active?
No, it doesn't matter whether it's onboarding or not. It's just the stage 5, stage 6, stage 7, stage 8 training. And then they also get other additional training as well. They can have multiple training paths that they're on for other positions. But that's just the basic training for all workers get. 30
No,
seconds.
I'm not. Yeah.
So what were you saying?
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not talking about that. I mean, this is a question if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense.
The vocabulary that you use for onboarding, which is just like the checklist, right, is not a worker involvement criteria, nor is it even a general responsibility. Guess whose responsibility is it that new workers go through the worker checklist and make sure they're checked off?
That's
Whose responsibility is that?
It's the worker.
Yeah, the recruitment worker. So
Yeah.
when you recruit someone, right, and they get started and they're approved in the budget, there is a checklist that the worker is supposed to do to, in essence, do the one-time onboarding for that worker, and then you assign that worker with their own ongoing onboarding for their responsibility for their stage 5 training.
Yes. I mean,
They're
we're
totally
talking about
separate.
two different
That's
things. Yeah,
confusing it because I just don't understand the vocabulary that you're using, because the way you talk about it
I get it.
is as if it's a one-time thing.
Yes.
Right. So the
I-
one-time onboarding checklist that is required to get a worker onboarded when they are first approved in the budget is not the worker's responsibility. Period. Right. The worker's responsibility is their stage 5 ongoing onboarding training, and all the responsibilities as part of stage 5, and that includes making sure that their checklist is moving forward. So I think the very first part of stage 5 is to double check on their checklist, right? That they have their POP, that they have their, that everything's been verified, and that they've got,
yes.
their main doc and all of that, and their work hours tracking spreadsheet, all that stuff. Just need that they should know that they have all those things. But again, that's super simple for them to do that.
No, I understand that, and I understand it even better. So my question is, does it make sense that in the involvement criteria verification?
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
We verify that the workers are getting the correct verification for their training. They're moving forward in the training with the correct verification. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, of course, but it's like, what the only way to be able to do that is to know what training number they're on.
Yeah, and that's was the purpose of this other number of training responsibility, right?
That's the number 4, right? Line 4. What specific training responsibility number are they on? So that's E4.
You're here. I was in the criteria May 5th. Yeah.
It's in the policies
I was in
list.
the other stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the policies list because I'm trying to prioritize all the policies to make sure we have clarity on why we're choosing the policies that we're choosing.
Right. So I would change it to, I mean, here on onboarding stage 5 onboarding training. Right here, we can call this onboarding training. Stage 5 training, active with stage 5 training. Check if they are working on stage 5 onboarding basic training. So first we want to verify if they're active on the training, right? They're actively working on the training. And then we want to verify if the number of the training that they're on is correct. So are they being verified correctly? Are they moving forward in the training process correctly?
I mean, I still don't understand the difference. Like for me, it's just like, what specific training responsibility number are they on? Right. So Alberto's on, responsibility number 3 within stage 5. Joyce is on responsibility 1 within stage 5. Moth is on responsibility 0 within stage 5. Right. And then we know exactly where everybody is. And then, maybe Ate is on responsibility 1 in stage 6. Right.
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
So once you know what responsibility training everybody is on, then it's verified. You know what they're on, and you know they can't move forward until they've completed it.
Yes, and this is a different responsibility. Here, I was thinking about verifying that the number of responsibility that they're on. I mean, I want. For me, it's important that, looking in the future, right, when we're going to have a much bigger team. To make sure that the worker is moving forward with the training correctly, is getting verified correctly, because the worker can tell us that he's in responsibility 7, right? But is he really in responsibility 7? Because if he's not, it's a problem.
Yeah, but the point is that the worker is not the one who chooses what responsibility training number they're on. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
The only reason this is even applicable is because we don't know and we're so disorganized. But once we know what training responsibility number everybody's on, the question is not what training responsibility number are you? The question is, are you freaking working on it or not? We already should know. Like, normally, if everything was done correctly to begin with, we would already know exactly what responsibility number everybody was on and whether or not it was verified. And they're ready to go on the next one, right? We would already know that information. And then the question is just to verify that they're actually continuing to work on it.
Perfect.
That's all that would need to be done, right? So this time, since we're so disorganized, we do need to confirm what responsibility number everybody is on. We do that one person at a time. But then once you do it once, then it's done. If someone's not sure, then they start at responsibility 5, number 0. You start at the beginning.
I get
right?
it. Okay.
And then you go through the whole thing. To spend any time on anything other than that is just continuing this exacerbation of excuses to not do the work, to not actually do the trainings. Because it literally should take 30 seconds to find it. Like, Joyce, what responsibility training number are you on for your training?
Please stop. Close your eyes.
I will answer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Yeah, we did that during the main session. We are all responsibility 0.
0. But I started already.
For what stage?
What you
Okay.
mean? Stage 6. Stage 6. Number
So you
0.
so you fully verified your stage 5 training.
Stage 5 is until the main dock and the budget status and then the pop and everything. So it's all finished.
Was it
And
verified?
what you, I don't know what to say. It should be verified by somebody that
Anybody
I
should be able
finished
to
all this.
verify it if you did it. But if you didn't get it verified, then you're not on stage 6. You can't possibly be on stage 6 until you verified stage 5. Period.
Okay.
So I mean, it sounds to me
So
like
if
if you don't know where you're at in your training, then you need to start at responsibly training number 0 in stage 5. If you don't know where you're at,
To you, what is the responsibility 0 of stage 5 for you, Jay? Of the train.
it will be the setup of stage 5, right? Because stage 5 would be the training process. So I don't know. I'd have to just
stage
click on the link, or maybe it's responsibility number 1, stage 5. I don't freaking know. The point is that you start at the beginning of stage 5 if you have no idea where you're at.
Because I mean, can you give a look to this document here? General training.
What are
Okay,
we
because
looking at?
17, line 17.
It says stage 6.
Okay, so is this correct or is this wrong? So there is a training before this.
Stage 5.
Stage 5, which is the onboarding verification, is so basically stage 5. You mean that you're verified that all your initial onboarding is completed.
No, that's the checklist that you're talking about. That's
that's the
one
one I'm talking about.
responsibility.
Time to take a
Stage
break.
5
When you
training.
stop
Stage
and write down whatever you were about to say, then take a break for 6 minutes.
Is this the one? Onboarding process.
I'm lost. I don't understand
Jay, can you look?
which
Can you
is the responsibility
column
0.
E? Yeah, column E, is this the one, Jay? Global Core Team Stage 5. Is that the one?
Now that's the whole onboarding process.
That's not the one. So where is that stage 5?
This could be it.
I'm lost.
Yeah, this looks like it right here. It's stage 5 onboarding.
So this is the one. Okay. So,
Get training. You mean the responsibility to get training on specific position and team first.
So one other way to understand it is it's simply not possible to move on to stage 6 without doing responsibility 10 levels and badges. Right? So if you haven't done, you need to do your tax forms, you need to be commitment availability, your scheduling, training, and team scheduling, making sure you got your goals, your check-ins, your reporting. And then you have to do your levels and badges, and you have to get the entire thing verified for stage 5 before you can go on to stage 6.
okay, now understood. Okay.
And so
So
responsibility
this one first, Albert.
0, right? Responsibility 0. Oh, and responsibility 1 is the checklist that you're talking about, right? To make sure everyone's checklist. Oh, no, that's responsibility 2. So responsibility 0, 1, and 2 is basically your checklist that you're talking about.
0, 1, and 2 checklist. 0, 1,
Yes.
and 2
Then
checklist.
responsibility 3 is where you start getting your training in terms of like getting organized. Is trying to train new workers to make sure they know how to be organized.
Do you want the checklist? Okay.
Okay, now it's clear, Jay. That's clear.
You need training on stage 3 and 4 tasks. And so responsibility 3 is actually training on recruitment support.
Mm,
And responsibility 4
number
is
3.
getting organized. Yes. So responsibility 4 is getting organized. Responsibility 5 is making sure you have clarity on main sessions, scheduling, and making sure you have clarity on your responses. Then you have your tax forms, your commitment and availability. Responsibility 8, scheduling, training, and team scheduling. Responsibility 9, making goals, check-ins, and reporting. Responsibility 10 is your levels and badges. And then responsibility 11 is getting verified.
Perfect. I get it.
So everyone
Okay.
starts with stage 5, and they have to complete stage 5 before they go on stage 6.
Ayun.
Perfect.
Now, okay.
Perfect. 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 Okay. All right, got it. So I updated the worker verification with stage 5 responsibility 0 for everybody.
0.
Yeah, so 5-0 would be
Training on specific
training on your
position and team first.
position and team, right? So you need to know what team you are, and you know what position you're in, because that is required. And then everybody actually, my understanding is that everyone's going to have 3 trajectories of training, which means you could have 3 separate training numbers. So on line 25 in our notes, the top of 3, basically, you've got your general training, you've got your position training, and you could have multiple positions. You could have multiple different position trajectories for your training, and then you have your methods training. So I believe the methods training is going to be a separate training that we're going to be setting up. So your general training is for your general training work, whereas your methods training is basically learning about the broader perspective of understanding, the network and the vision and like the actual, more of the process that we're going through, which I think is going to help everyone get their work done more better. So, and then the methods training might be going through the methodology proposal. So in the general training, we don't even actually have to deal with the methodology proposal. We could bring up the methodology proposal in the methods training. But I don't think we should start the methods training until we have it set up.
Perfect. 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 Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Very good. All right.
So again, going back into, wait, don't we need to take a break? We kind of missed the break.
Mr. Break.
Yeah.
So let's take a break and then let's go back. Oh, it looks like you already deleted it. So now we just have line 4, right?
Yes.
Just-
Already updated everything.
Again, there's no difference between stage 5, stage 6, stage 7,
And
stage 8.
time to start. Please get focused on the session.
So let's take a quick 3-minute break, and then when we come back, we can finish up anything with the worker involvement criteria, and then we can move on to the next topic.
Yes. 3 minutes break.